Hello, Peter Van, the Dent Fix guy, here with a Dent Fix DF SPR 67 self-piercing riveting gun. The best riveting gun out there for all of your aluminum replacement needs. Let's take a look at what comes in the box. The heavy-duty plastic box keeps it light and strong and houses everything that you need. On the main side, you've got our pneumatic steel-cased SPR tool. We sell ours with the larger mid-length arm, which increases the ability to get into the spaces that you need to. Locking pin for the arm, and a universal die set. The universal die set comes with dies for 3.3 millimeter self-piercing rivets, 5.3 millimeter self-piercing rivets, free flow rivets. It has a hole punch, a rivet extractor, and a flange flattening set. The small extension is for use with the mid-length arm. If we look at the other side of the case, you have shoulder strap to help reduce fatigue, a handle to put onto the arm to help control, and a set of rivets. 2 sizes of 3.3 millimeter rivets and 4 sizes of 5.3 millimeter rivets. The case also has a cutout ready for the small arm if you decide to buy that as an option. Using the tool when installing the arm onto the DF SPR 67 or SPR 69, very important. Lay the arm flat off the edge of a flat surface so that the ring hangs low. Take your tool, grab it by the actual shaft of the tool, not the handle, and bring it in, a slight twist until it locks into this pin here, into the slot. Install your locking pin. Then you want to put on your handle. It can go either on the right or left side and in 3 different places depending on the leverage that you need. Now that your arm's installed, you're ready to do some riveting. Let's go over the controls. This dial sets your pressure. By turning this dial, you can see it increases by the gauge, which gives you the reading as to what the pressure is. On the opposite side is your speed and micro adjustments. This controls the speed of the push-in as well as a micro adjustment as to the amount of pressure that you're putting onto it. This is your return bar. Push on this when you want to bring the shaft back into the piston after you've extracted your rivet or installed your rivet. Let's go over the dies. The DF SPR 67 comes with a universal die set, which includes 3.3 millimeter SPR dies, 5.3 millimeter SPR dies, free flow rivet dies, a rivet extractor, a hole punch, and a flange flattener. This small extension is for use with the mid-length arm, which is included with the DF SPR 67. When installing the dies and the extension, it's very important to screw it in until it is completely tight. The key thing is you want it pushing on the shoulder, not the shaft. It can break the shaft, as this tool can apply up to 9 tons of pressure. You will notice that all of the dies are marked A1, A2, B1 and B2, F1 and F2, E1 and E2, T1 and T2, and then D17, since these flattening dies are both the same. It's very critical that you make sure that you put the matching dies together. A very common mistake is to use the E1 extractor with the T2 hole punch. If you do this, it will break the tip off the extractor and jam the rivet into the hole punch. As you can see, the hole punch hole is substantially smaller than the receiving die for the actual rivet extractor. You can put the rivets on either end. You do not have to have the push rivet on this side and the receiving die on that side. You can use it on either end so that whatever your clearance issues are, you can put the small end in. If you need to get behind a rivet, you would put this one on this end, gives you more clearance behind everything, and you can extract your rivet. You will also notice that on the end of the clamp, the screw-in receiver is free floating. So it's important that you put your finger on the end to hold it down to get your threading started. And again, make sure you tighten it all the way, hand tight, so that it's pressing against the shoulder and not the shaft. Installing the extension, and we'll install the 5.3 millimeter rivets or dies. You can set these up to push in on either end. So if you need to reverse this, we're having the push-in die on this side and the receiving die on this side, you can. You can also put the whole extension there. So depending on what you need to get into, you can adjust this gap down or up closer to the end of the arm to give you better access. Installing a 5.3 millimeter rivet into the recess. It's magnetic. It will hold it into place. 7 tons. I'm good on the pressure there. You can see you can adjust the speed. The self-piercing rivet, flush on the front side, creates a clench on the back side. Let's look at rivet extraction. Again, with any of the dies, you can reverse its position, so you're pushing this way or that way with the extractor. You can move the whole extension and again, move this gap wherever you need it to be to get access to the rivet that you want to extract. Make sure that the rivet is centered in the hole of the receiving die, and or the pin is pushing on the center of the back side. You push the rivets out through the back side. Rivet extracted. Now you'll notice after you extract a rivet, you've got a little bit of a high ridge there. The next thing you're going to want to do is flatten out that high ridge. By putting the flattening dies, again, making sure you screw them all the way flush. Flattens out that high ridge. Now you're ready to mount your new panel onto the old receiving panel. Now sometimes you'll remove a panel and remove an SPR, and the manufacturer's instructions will be to not install a self-piercing rivet, but to remove that rivet and put in either a free flow rivet or a blind rivet, which will require you to punch a hole. This gives you a clean 6.5 millimeter hole by using our hole punch. Gives you a nice clean hole to run that blind rivet and or free flow rivet through without cutting and having to deburr.